Hello, it's Spence, the evil genius from Widget Laboratory with your lab secrets tip of the day. Today I'd like to introduce you to Dapper. Dapper is an essential tool for getting content from anywhere across the web. It's basically a scraper and it allows you to aggregate, put things together in a new way, repackage them, and then give them back to your users in any format you choose. Let me show you what we've done with it and give you some ideas on how to get started yourself. First of all, a great use of Dapper is to get the photos off of your SocialGo network and put them together into a photo loop or an image loop. Over here on TrikePilot.com, I've got our photo page. And the problem is, if I want to share these photos, I can do something like I did yesterday on our tutorial where I did a collage, but maybe something a little more interactive like our lab slide product would be useful. If I did this manually, I got to click, copy, way too much work. Let me show you how Dapper automates that. Over here I've got a Dapper that I've already created, and it's an image loop. And what it does effectively is it takes the images off of photo page 3 and it puts them together in a format that I can use anywhere in the internet. If I click over here on image loop, this is an iframe. I can grab it, copy it, and then re-embed it anywhere that it'll accept an iframe. Now, how did I set this up? Well, let me show you. You go over to www.dapper.net/open, and you can either use the DApp that we created as a template, and I'll leave it under the search term Lab Secrets, or you can create your own. Click over here on Create a New DApp. Now the first thing you want to do is put in the URL where your photos are located. On SocialGo, that would be TrikePilot.com, where I've got a social network set up. And I know it's actually photos.html. I'm going to create a DApp XML. Click on Next Step. We want to tell Dapper where the photos are located, so I'm going to add the photo page to the basket, and then I'm going to give it another sample by clicking on page 2. Add another page to the basket, and it gives a little larger sample for DApp to understand what the content is it's looking for. I'll add a third page. Okay, by the way, my thanks go out to Mad Scientist for giving me the information I need for this tutorial. Click on Next Step. Now I'm going to say what content on the page are the photos, and I do that by simply clicking on one of the photos. DApp is smart enough to figure that out. I check that there are no blank links here, and I go ahead and save those as a field, which I'm going to call Photos. Now last, I want to also include the added by, so I'll click on the link here for the people below, and got to make sure I select the right one. There we go. And I clear these ones that don't have names in them by clicking on Clear. The result is I can now have already, these are names only, so I'll add that as a name field. I'm going to call it added by, and I'll save that. Okay, let's see what we've got. I'll click on Next Step, and now when DApp does its work, it shows that I've got the photos and the added by and the links that go to the person. So now I'm ready to create my photo roll or my image roll. I'm going to call this Lab, I better use the same syntax, Lab Secrets. Image loop. If you search, go for this term when you search over on Dapper. Lab Secrets Image Loop. And by the way, you can make this private if you want by clicking this checkbox, but I want to leave this open for you guys to reuse. Click Save and we're done. Let's see how we can use it in our site. Once we go over here, we're going to choose the format of image loop, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that our URL is the page that we want to utilize. Now in this case, I can set a variable to make this automatic, but I'm just going to show you manually. Add on photos, page, and then the page number you want. In this case, let's say I'm going to search page 2. Now I go ahead, update the input, and I click on Go. Now I tell it how wide I want the scroller. I'm going to say maybe 400 pixels, and the height I'm going to call it 100. And now we've got it. We've got our Dapper ready to go. I'll click on Update Image and we'll grab the code. That's it, we're done. Click on the button, grab the code, and paste it in your site. This is Spence from Lab Secrets.